Hi, I'm Greg Hammond, a student in the seminar in urban administration class, and this is my course project. Here's a little bit about me. You can go back and pause this if you like to read about my background. Let's get right into it. So, the subject of my course project was this overview in a study about the systematic overreach by state executives and a local response. And so the photo you see there is a photo of my local school board in Jackson-Madison County. Recently, the school board announced the plans to investigate legal remedies in response to the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission overturning the local board's decision to deny an application for a charter school. The charter school was sponsored by American Classical Academy. So for a very long time, really for the majority of the state's history, the state has allowed local school boards to decide on whether they will accept charter schools. And so it's always been a local decision up until the last 5 years or so. And so we're going to talk about that more in a moment. But just to recap, systematic overreach by state executives and a local response. And we're going to recap that local response. So letting you know about the all the players in this scenario. And this is a true story. This is happening in Jackson, Madison County, Tennessee. So the school board's emblems on the left, American Classical Education, is sponsored by a college in Michigan. We'll get to that in a moment. Now, the root cause of these attempts by American Classical Education to bring a Hillsdale College sponsored charter school to Jackson, Tennessee, can actually be traced back to about 2019 and the groundbreaking New York Times initiative known as the 1619 Project. Before we get into that, just a little bit of background about the school system we're looking at. Madison County, the demographics in Madison County. I thought this was interesting, so just sharing this tidbit with you. The demographics in Madison County, 58.3% white. However, when you look at the public school demographics in this town, the demographics are skewed. And so a lot of private schools in Jackson and Madison County. I guess that would help explain the skewed demographics in the public school. But as you may or may not know, there is a conversation in the state of Tennessee to take public school dollars and allow families to transfer that funds to private schools. So there's that conversation, but there's also the conversation about charter schools. So why this systematic overreach by state executives and the local response by the school board? Well, it all stems back to 2019. There was a initiative that came out, a historical addendum, if you will, by the New York Times and a reporter, Nicole Hannah Jones. And of course, the entire theme around the 1619 Project was not a complete history of the United States, but rather expanding our collective understanding of the legacy of slavery in America and the contributions of Black Americans to the nation. And so instead of using the traditional 1776 framing as far as being the nation's founding, the 1619 Project looks at the year 1619 as the start of America. And so you can read more about that if you're interested. They have podcasts and some articles, documentaries on Hulu. And there's also K-12 curriculum. Well, although the New York Times made a qualifying statement saying this is not a complete history, but rather an addendum to point out the legacy of slavery and the contributions of Black Americans, although the New York Times made that qualifying statement, President Donald Trump created the 1776 Commission in response to the 1619 Project. The purpose was to promote patriotic education. And so the president founded the 1776 Commission, which was in part headed up by a man named Dr. Larry Arnn. He's the president of Hillsdale College, and Hillsdale College sponsors several charter schools throughout the country. And so that kind of paints the national picture for you. Well, on the state level, Governor Bill Lee really attached himself to the 1776 Commission and Dr. Larry Arnn. And so essentially, in collaboration with Larry Arnn, Governor Lee established a new Tennessee Public Charter School Commission. And the aim, Governor Lee has said, is to bring 50 additional charter schools to Tennessee. And so the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission was created in 2019 to oversee charter school appeal responsibilities from the Tennessee State Board of Education. So in past decades, the Tennessee Education Department really allowed local school boards to make decisions about charter schools, but the governor has created a public school commission, and you see a picture here of the public school commission, the Public Charter School Commission. And so these appointed representatives have the power to overturn decisions made by local elected officials. One local journalist described the situation by stating, "It looks like the state's appointed commission, with its hand-picked members, special meeting rules, and lack of actual boots on the ground communicating with people in Madison County, firmly placed Jackson-Madison County schools into a passenger train car and proceeded to railroad them into a charter school they didn't see a benefit from." So this really concerns the convergence of politics and administration in this particular situation, as Governor Lee, in his efforts to partner with private business, which charter schools are businesses, members of the Public Charter School Commission have even said as much in relating to budgets. And so the idea of expanding the role of government at the state level to supersede local decisions really goes against the basic tenets of administration, as well as long held Republican principles. And so, even looking at Woodrow Wilson's study of administration, he implores practitioners of administration to discover what government can do properly, successfully, and with the utmost possible efficiency and least possible cost. And so, in creating the State Public Charter School Commission, Governor Lee has expanded the state's role and reach. He's expanded it to the point of stripping local power away from duly elected officials at the county level. And so, again, in previous years, the Jackson-Madison County school system and the board, with their powers given to them by the Tennessee Code and Tennessee laws, in previous years, over the last several decades, has been able to make a local decision as to whether or not a charter school will be accepted in the local community. But now, with the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission, Governor Lee has empowered a group of appointed officials from all across the state of Tennessee to be able and limit the power of the local school board. So you see that image on the screen. As I was stating at the beginning of this, on October 16th, the Jackson-Madison County School Board announced plans at a press conference, and you see an image from that press conference, to investigate legal remedies in response to the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission overturning the local board's decision to deny an application by American Classical Academy. And then I've explained the root causes of these attempts. And it's not uncommon for charter schools to apply to enter Jackson-Madison County, but this is the first time a charter school has had such influential outside pull, uh, outside power. And so, even to the point that the governor has created the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission with the power to overturn the local board's decision. And so, our local school board is identifying options and remedies in response. And so, I think the goal for the board, they've stated, is to be able to retain their power and their local decision making, which is vested in them by being locally elected officials by local residents. Something I wanted to add to the project, so much of public administration, a lot of times in the conversations we talk about the mayors. Well, it's very interesting in this particular situation on how the mayors are responding. Jackson-Madison County has a city mayor and a county mayor. And so on the left, you see our city mayor, and on the right, you see the county mayor. And so they make several appearances together. And for the most part, they, in terms of intergovernmental relations, they have a good working relationship. And you see them in public. And in terms of industry and for progress of the community, they often pull in the same direction. However, in this particular situation, we're seeing the tale of two mayors. Jackson City Mayor Scott Conger appears to value democratic principles by supporting the school board. In fact, he was at the press conference when the school board announced that it would seek legal remedies. And he's been very vocal on social media in his support of the local public school system and the school system's right and power to be able to make local decisions. And so he publicly spoke out against the Tennessee Charter School Commission. Meanwhile, or conversely, there's been silence from the Madison County Mayor, A.J. Massey, during this entire controversy. And so it could be viewed as a sign of a public administrator, in terms of the county mayor, valuing a political party's business over the people's business. Madison County, like the state of Tennessee, is legislated by a Republican majority. And so the county mayor, Mayor Massey, his silence and his absence at that school board press conference highlights the delicate relationship between politics and administration. Now, there's no clear right or wrong in his actions. And the fact that he's staying silent on this issue, it won't likely cost him politically, because he is a Republican in a Republican county. Meanwhile, Mayor Scott Conger, the city mayor, who's been very vocal in support of the local school system, is a stated independent. He describes himself as an independent, and being an independent does allow him to speak out when he so chooses, without the worry or concern with political pushback. While the mayors and their actions, they're neither right or wrong, you go back and you consider the school board. And so as of tonight, this is November 6th, Monday night, the Jackson-Madison County School Board had their monthly work session. And right now they're looking at a writ and other remedies, essentially to stop the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission from overturning their local decision. And so, again, the genesis of this local charter school conflict has roots in a national debate, really a debate on race, history, and a centuries-long struggle to control historical American narratives. And so it's just been very interesting to see something that really kind of started out from the national level having a trickle-down effect on a local school system. And so you see locally elected officials really deciding to stick up for themselves, stick up for the people who elected them, because the actions of Governor Lee and the Public Charter School Commission, uh, you could explain, are in a violation of American values and Republican principles. And so, for that reason, the Jackson-Madison County school system is right. They are very right in the response to seek and to study legal recourse.